Hey word nerds, Happy New Year! I hope you all had a really great Christmas and New Year's. I know I absolutely did. I know I promised some special videos once I got back, and I had planned on doing a couple videos with my sisters while I was home. However, I was a little distracted just with all the relaxing and catching up we were doing, and so we didn't ever get around to filming videos, which is a little disappointing, but I'm glad that we took the time to relax and connect with each other. That being said, I do have pretty special news to share with you all today. So far, 2017 is shaping up to be a really great year for me. I have a job that I love with people that I really enjoy working with. I'm going to a writing conference this August as a faculty member, which is just incredibly mind-blowing for me. And to top it all off, I made a pretty big decision recently. When I first got invited to the writers conference, it was kind of on the understanding that I would be sort of the children's writing expert on staff. Although I'm by no means an expert, I certainly do have experience with that as I work on 2 children's magazines. So of course I was really excited, and I was talking to my parents about it the day that I got the invitation, and my dad brought up a really good question. He said, "Have you ever actually thought about writing children's books?" And it really hadn't ever occurred to me before. The books that I write and the stories that I write are usually aimed at a young adult or adult audience, and while I have written some children's pieces for our magazines, I never really thought about writing children's books. But before I was able to tell my parents that, I had this sudden memory pop into my head. When my sisters and I were little, my grandma, whenever we would see her, which sadly wasn't very often, would tell us bedtime stories. And we loved her bedtime stories. They were full of memorable characters, good lessons for us, and they were just fun. Sometime in high school or early college maybe, I had tossed around the idea of maybe writing down some of those stories that my grandma told us and making them children's books, but I never really went anywhere with it. But all of that has changed. When my dad asked me about writing children's books, suddenly those stories popped into my head again. And it just amazed me how 15 or 20 years later those characters and those stories are still so vivid in my imagination. And so that leads me to my big news. I am going to write these stories that my grandma told us as picture books. My first manuscript of the first book is actually done, and I have it sent out to a couple of trusted readers and friends, as well as a few family members who also know the stories. And it's just been a really different experience writing it. I think this manuscript topped out at just over 600 words, and it's a full story, which is really unusual for me. I'm used to writing and working on novel-length projects and having a lot more time and a lot more space to fill, and so writing that concisely was really a challenge, but I enjoyed it a lot. So the first book is out to readers, and I'm currently working on the second book as well. I would really love this to be a series. The game plan for right now, once I get the manuscript back from my readers, I'll be doing more edits and probably sending it out again and doing more edits. And hopefully within the next month I will get a story that I am mostly happy with. You know, writers were never completely happy with our work. But once I get the story to a place where I'm comfortable with it, I will start sending it out. So before I finish up, I'm going to preemptively answer a couple of questions. Will I be doing / be in charge of the artwork? No. What is the story about? The story follows a family. A mom, a dad, a little boy, a little girl, and a kangaroo that they find in the woods and basically adopt. It's kind of a Curious George type of setup where the kangaroo, who's really the main character, tends to get in trouble. Not always intentionally, sometimes he really does have the best intentions, and sometimes he's just still hasn't quite learned right from wrong. When will we see your book? I have no idea. Even if I get picked up by an agent right away and then get picked up by a publisher right away, the book publishing process is very slow, and in all likelihood the soonest you would see it would be sometime next year. So I think that's really the big questions I can think of that people will ask me, but if you have any other questions about this, please feel free to leave a comment. I will let you know. If you're interested in more of my words, you can check out links below to my blog, Facebook page, and Twitter account. I would love to hear from you, so please comment below and let me know what you think about all this. It's kind of terrifying for me, so please, words of encouragement would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you will see me next time, word nerds.